Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that's been all over the news. Iran is back in global headlines. Specifically, what weapons are being used in these recent escalations? It's a complex picture involving advanced technology and high-stakes strategy. Let's break it down together. First, to understand the present, we need a bit of context. The Middle East has been a hotbed of tension for decades, but recent events have seen a significant escalation, and conflicts involving proxy groups across several countries. We're not just talking about old-school warfare here. Most of these incidents involve high-tech weaponry, particularly precision-guided missiles and armed drones, which have become the tools of choice in this modern, asymmetrical battlefield. These weapons allow for strikes over long distances with a degree of accuracy that was unimaginable just a few generations ago. The strategic calculations are immense, as each launch or deployment carries the risk of a much wider conflict. This isn't just about military targets. The current situation is the culmination of years of strategic planning, technological development, and shifting alliances, making it a very fluid and unpredictable environment. So let's talk about the specific hardware. When you hear about missiles in the context of Iran, what are we really discussing? Iran's missile arsenal is diverse and has been a cornerstone of its military doctrine for years. Iran has invested heavily in developing both short-range and medium-range ballistic missiles. Short-range missiles are typically used for tactical targets within the immediate region, while medium-range systems have the capability to reach targets much further afield, altering the strategic balance of power. Then you have cruise missiles. Unlike ballistic missiles, which follow a high arcing trajectory, cruise missiles fly at low altitudes, hugging the terrain to evade radar detection. They have been a significant part of regional military strategies used for precise high-value strikes. And of course, on the other side of the equation are the air defense systems. As offensive capabilities have grown, so too have defensive ones. Countries in the region, including Iran and its adversaries, operate sophisticated, multi-layered air defense networks designed to detect, track, and intercept incoming threats like missiles and drones. This creates a constant cat-and-mouse game where each side is trying to outsmart the other's technology. It's as a high-tech duel where the effectiveness of one shield is just as important as the power of one sword. The interplay between these offensive and defensive systems is what truly defines the modern military landscape in the region. Now, let's shift our focus to something that has arguably changed the face of modern conflict more than any other recent technology: drones. Vehicles UAV have become a major component of military operations for both state and non-state actors. Iran, in particular, has developed a formidable drone program. These aren't just the small quadcopters you might see in a park. We're talking about sophisticated aircraft capable of carrying out complex missions. One type you hear a lot about are loitering munitions, often called kamikaze or suicide drones, making them incredibly effective and psychologically intimidating. Alongside these, surveillance drones are constantly in the air, gathering intelligence, identifying targets, and providing real-time battlefield awareness. The widespread use of these drone technologies by various factions has created a battlefield where the front lines are blurred. While drones and missiles grab many of the headlines, airstrikes carried out by piloted fighter jets remain a critical component of military strategy for regional powers. When we see retaliatory strikes, they are often conducted by advanced aircraft deploying a range of munitions. The key here is precision, minimizing damage to surrounding areas, at least in theory. How do they achieve this? The most common methods involve satellite guidance, like GPS or laser guidance, where a beam of light paints the target for the bomb to follow. This level of precision is only possible with excellent intelligence. Before any strike is launched, a massive amount of information is gathered from satellites, surveillance drones, and human intelligence sources. This data is used to build a detailed picture of the target area, identifying the exact location to hit. This intelligence-based targeting is a hallmark of modern warfare. It's a systematic, data-driven approach designed to maximize effectiveness while managing risk. However, as we'll discuss, even the most precise technology has its limits and carries profound consequences. This brings us to the most important and tragic aspect of any conflict: the impact on civilians. Despite the use of precision-guided weapons, civilian casualties are an unfortunate and frequent reality. A missile that goes astray, a faulty piece of intelligence, or a secondary explosion can have devastating consequences. When these strikes occur in densely populated urban areas, the risks multiply exponentially. Urban warfare is notoriously complex and dangerous. The line between a military target and a civilian home can be incredibly thin. A building might be used for military purposes, but it could also be an apartment block where families live. The use of explosive weapons in these environments almost inevitably leads to collateral damage. Infrastructure is destroyed: hospitals, schools, water treatment plants, and entire communities are displaced. The psychological toll is immense, with people living under the constant threat of an attack from the sky. It's crucial to remember that behind the headlines about missile systems and drone technology, there are human stories of loss, fear, and survival. No matter how smart the bomb, the human cost of conflict remains devastatingly high. We should never lose sight of this reality. The recent tensions involving Iran are a stark illustration of how warfare has evolved in the 21st century. The strategic landscape is no longer solely defined by large armies and tank battles. Instead, it relies heavily on a technological triad of missiles, drones, and precision airstrikes. These weapons allow for conflict to be waged at a distance, with a level of precision and lethality that is unprecedented. Ballistic and cruise missiles project power across vast distances, holding entire regions at risk. Drones have democratized air power, giving both nations and smaller groups the ability to conduct surveillance and launch attacks from the sky. And precision airstrikes, guided by a constant flow of intelligence, aim to surgically remove threats. However, this new era of warfare is fraught with complexity and danger. The speed at which these events unfold can be dizzying, and the potential for miscalculation is enormous. A single strike can trigger a rapid and unpredictable chain reaction, escalating a regional incident into a much wider conflict. The situation remains incredibly sensitive and is constantly developing. As we watch these events unfold, it's vital to understand the technology at play, but even more so, to remember the profound human stakes involved. The world is watching, and the path forward requires careful navigation and a commitment to de-escalation. Thank you so much for joining me for this deep dive. It's a heavy topic, but an important one to understand. If you found this breakdown helpful, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more analysis on global events. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.